Greetings, children of the screen. Your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here once again. And today I am joined by...
Bree.
Old Man Logan.
Because guess what? These fools had never seen Howard the Duck. So we just watched it.
That's acceptable, right? Not seeing that movie? Okay. Okay.
Anyway, moving on. So, Howard the Duck, originally released in 1986. It was rated PG and came in at 110 minutes. The film is directed by Willard Hewick, I believe is how you pronounce his name, and it stars Leah Thompson, Jeffrey Jones, Tim Robbins, and Ed Gale as Howard the Duck. Right on, guys. So, did this movie give you what you expected from a film entitled Howard the Duck?
Absolutely not.
No?
Yeah, no.
No.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's an interesting thing.
Mixed bags?
Sure. I mean, like I said, I was expecting, like, opening up into it, I'm like, okay, this is Ted.
Right,
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No. No.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
So, okay, in the opening sequence, there's a lot of, like, little Easter eggs and stuff as we get to know, like, Howard's world and everything.
Right.
What was your favorite or the most standout part of all that pre-Earth sequence?
Oh, gosh, I have
Because
to remember.
I personally love the Breeders of the Lost Stork, the Indiana Jones, like,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really nice one.
Oh, gosh.
Let's see.
The
trying to think of more.
Heartbreakers.
Okay, the
yeah.
Howard and the Heartbreakers is
Yeah.
That
pretty
was fun.
nice.
Yeah.
Play Duck.
Play Duck,
Oh,
Duck Tits.
Duck
that might be
Tits.
my favorite. Play Duck was pretty good.
Yeah, this movie's tone is really crazy and all
Oh,
over
yeah.
the place, and, like, I don't know at what point they were like, we should have duck tits in this movie, like,
Yeah.
right? Because
That's-
sometimes it wants to be a kid's movie,
you
but it
know.
also has duck
Yeah.
tits in it,
Yeah.
so...
It was
Yeah.
showing us, like, what the world's about. It's pretty much our world. And then they were like, no, like, it's our world.
Yeah,
Tits.
just with ducks who have tits and no pizza, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Pizza.
What a weird
that's
thing.
weird. So, did you enjoy watching the film?
I did. I really did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's wild. There's so many things you don't like. There's a point in the movie when you stopped and said something along the lines of, "Now we're taking a Lovecraftian spin" or something
Yeah.
like that. I was like, "What are you talking about?" But that
Yeah.
it fits.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
had questions throughout the whole thing, and you just kept looking at me, and you were like, buckle up, champ.
Yeah. Like, I know you think this is fucked up,
And-
but man,
I mean, dude,
No,
yeah, it's entertaining for the, yeah.
It's also 3 pounds of crazy in a 2-pound bucket.
yeah, and early on, like, Logan was like, is she gonna fuck that duck? And I was talking about Leah Thompson, and I was just like, maybe she's gonna fuck that duck. And, like, what I love is that, like, no, clearly they never fuck in this movie, and a lot of it's played more just, like, romantically, or, like, flirting type stuff, even though they clearly get together by the end of the movie.
Right.
But the fact that within the first, like, 10 minutes of the movie, he was questioning the reality of the movie
Oh yeah.
and the, like, soundness of the
The
filmmakers.
practicality.
Just
like,
to be like, they made this suit, like, really well, and, like, she's gonna fuck that duck, isn't she? Just so they could use the phrase on set, fuck the duck. Yeah.
Hashtag fuck the duck.
So yeah, it's a pretty uneven movie, but I always have felt that it's legitimately really entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that it's uneven even kind of adds to that.
It works. Yeah.
'Cause-
We're not about to call this a good movie.
No.
Oh, but it's fun.
But, and, like, I think the people making the movie knew that same thing that other filmmakers, every now and then you get a filmmaker who, like, you can tell that as they were writing or making the movie, they would get to a point in the movie where they're like, well, I've seen this before and I'm bored. You know what I've never seen before? Or you know what would be crazy?
Like
and then
fucking this.
they just do that.
Yeah.
And this movie feels like that, where, like, you do the whole, like, Howard the Duck, like, fish out of water, and, like, when the writer was bored of that, he's like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do something else now.
Throw in some aliens.
Yeah,
I
and
need
then,
some
like,
more.
by the end of it, you just end up with, like, this pyramid heaping cornucopia
Yeah.
of sci-fi
Yeah.
insanity.
I thought we were about to watch, like, okay, he's going to be a manager of the band.
Band,
and, like,
yeah.
I saw that coming, you know,
Right.
but I really thought it was going to, like, the end scene was going to be what the movie was going to
Right.
Yeah.
be. No.
No.
So, my favorite thing in this whole movie is the effects.
Oh, yeah.
So, what did y'all think about the effects in this movie?
What are we talking here?
Let's start off with the Howard himself.
Okay, yeah.
How'd you feel about the effects on Howard himself?
First time seeing him, he's so goofy looking. I love it though. It adds to him. It really
Runs
does.
like Flash from Justice League.
Yeah, from the Justice League movie. Yeah.
Legs out and everything.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
it's
a
great.
like a
But
Muppet.
no,
Yeah.
like his movement though, likewise, they did a good job of either like how they cover that up or how he's just how he just moves and everything interacts. His face is still a little weird.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in that time, what puppet isn't?
I was gonna say it's fairly smooth for what they had to work
Yeah,
with.
like the animatronics for the face, for the most time, it gets a little weird at
Yeah.
times because he's a big puppet man, but at the same time, like you can almost always tell what emotion he's feeling and like, there's
that pensive look he kept giving Phyllis or Philly or whatever his name is.
Filzy.
Filzy,
yeah.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah, Tim Robbins.
Yeah,
But
his
every
gangly
time,
ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the facial expressions I felt really good. I really felt that like also whenever he was like angry or something, the way you could see his feathers start to ruffle up and stuff. I like that on him. It is funny watching him because half the time there's a little person in the suit, and then half the time there's like a freaking kid in the suit. And so it changes the proportions of his body every so slightly.
Yeah.
But like, and
I
I'm
thought
not.
it was honestly a puppet at some times.
Sometimes it is a puppet.
Okay,
Like whenever there's the scene of him getting his clothes stripped off and stuff like that, that's a puppet. And there's I think some other scenes where it's like close-ups of the face, where it's a more advanced puppet than what they could.
So you can change the face dramatically.
I think so. From what I remember, it's been a while since I watched the behind-the-scenes features on it. So how about like the other effects in the film in general?
Yeah, I thought it was the first time the what's his name? The demon guy, Jennings. That's his
Jennings,
name.
yeah.
The first time he like does the whole eye thing and blows up the line of cars, I thought that was pretty.
By the way, not Jennings, the Dark Lord.
Right.
Dark
of the
Overlord.
Overlord.
Sorry.
One of them, not the Dark Lord, but a
The
Dark
Dark
Lord.
Overlords of the
Yes, Dark
universe.
Overlord of the universe.
Right.
Like, not Jennings.
Right.
From Sina Seminis or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard of that place before too.
Yes, absolutely. Sure, why not? You might have read Marvel. No. Anyway, so yeah, but yeah, like the effects with him, with like the lightning and stuff, they're pretty good for like pre-CGI effects. Like
Pre-CGI?
Yeah, like the movie came out in 1986, so like while there were movies that were starting to incorporate computer elements, like all of the lightning, it's all done frame by frame, painted by hand.
Oh, that's
by
dope.
like old school effects dudes and stuff like that. And then like all of the creature effects for whenever he like rips out of his like human form, that's all stop motion animation.
Oh,
And puppeteering and stuff
that
like
I thought was what that was, but
yeah, it's some really smooth stop motion animation.
It is though, because I wasn't sure at first.
Yeah, especially with like the new transfer they have on the movie, where they kind of cleaned up like the mat where he got put in, but they made sure not to like lose any of the detail on the creature. There was a moment where like when he first pops out, where you could very easily think that that's some decent CGI.
Yeah.
But like once they actually start showing him moving and the way that Howard interacts with it and stuff, like you're like, okay, that's not CGI, but
I
like
don't know exactly what it is.
So in that respect, like I think that those effects are freaking great in terms of selling that character and his power level and making you feel like he's actually within the environments that he's in.
Yeah.
Except for he went from a human and the Dark Overlord to seeing his giant centipede-looking things with like claws and teeth in the middle.
Yeah, and butthole tentacles that have
We're just taking the tropes of every like demon thing.
That's what I was saying. Where like, well, like she pointed out, like we were at that one point in the movie, and I was like, okay, guys, like this is where we stop drawing so much from Howard the Duck, and we're gonna start drawing more from Lovecraftian myth.
Yeah.
So you go into like this weird body horror, overlords of outer space, crazy cosmic bullshit, which there's some of that in some Howard the Duck, but not the ones that are like people think of when they think of Howard the Duck.
And Jennings is fine.
Yeah, Jennings is fine. Because if they got a sequel, he's a character you want to have back. He's a good actor, and he brings a lot to this movie. Like, he's my favorite character in the movie, is Jennings / the Dark Overlord of the universe.
Is that him, like, trying to be all, like...
Yeah, like, it's just him having fun with it and being all over the top. Every now and then I think they alter his voice, but most of it is just him being like, There is no Jennings.
Yeah.
She took my eggs.
Yeah, the commitment in this movie, that's another thing.
Yeah.
These actors, man, they really committed to
They
their parts.
do. Which is great that you bring that up, because the next thing I was going to ask you is, how do you feel about the actors in the movie?
Yeah, like I said, they committed really well. They really stuck to what they were given and wrote it out till the end, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely went like 0 to 10 on a 10 scale on everything. It seemed. Like
Yeah.
Just all out. Why not?
You have to.
I was
I'm in
gonna
a
say
movie
that.
with a guy dressed as a little small duck.
Yeah.
With
like,
things like that, you have to. Like, otherwise it just doesn't work.
Lee Thompson deserves so much credit because there are so many scenes in this movie where, like, having been an actor and done scenes that are ridiculous, just like, you know that there's a scene in this movie where she's laying in bed with a puppet duck with 9 people crowded around the bed so they can puppet his animatronic face in her underwear while they're, like, doing, like, a really, like, funny but suggestive scene.
Yeah.
Like, and she does most of it with a complete straight face.
Oh yeah.
Well, like...
Yeah.
I
And
really want to see the takes of that where she.
Oh my God.
She has to have fucked
Oh my
up.
God,
Like
yeah,
so many times. Like one of the guys just
Oh,
makes a face
man.
behind her, like,
Yeah.
you know, and she's just like,
no.
But, like,
God dang it.
the commitment you have to put yourself... Okay, I'm a rock star who's struggling. This duck, man, saved my life. And he's joking about how he wants to bang me, but I know he doesn't really, so I'm gonna fuck with him.
Mhm.
Like, and as an actress, she put herself in that place and was able to play it without a fucking
Yeah.
hint of irony.
No, she... Oof.
Very talented.
Ball out
Yeah.
of the park,
I
for real.
freaking love her. She's great in this movie. Like I said, Jennings, home dude, like, steals the show for me, but she's what's important. Like, if she couldn't do that job,
Yeah.
the whole movie would fucking fall apart.
yeah.
The whole thing would
What
fall
made it not
apart.
near as
She's
fun.
also really funny.
Although her
Like,
little,
she
I was gonna
has
say her
some-
little one-liners,
I
like
heard-
throughout the
yeah.
stuff, like he's in a bad mood.
Right.
No shit.
Right.
So funny. Oh,
Like-
Dark Overlord of the universe
Yeah.
here.
Like,
I
she
love
has
her.
fun with the kind of aloof nature of her
Yeah.
character. Kind of like, you can tell that she's not a typical, like, 80s airhead,
Mhm.
but, like, you know, kind of playing with that archetype a little bit.
Mhm.
But I do like that, like, even in scenes where she's calling for help, she's still, like, putting up a fight, and, like,
Yeah.
they eventually go to, like, the standard comic book classical
Yeah.
trope of her, like, being kidnapped and
Mhm.
stuff. But again, it's like movies are still doing that today, so
Yeah.
while it's not the best thing ever, I'm not going to hold it against a movie that was made before you were born. Because you're young, and we're one of the young, hip kids
Oh,
doing
shit. Good God.
hip kid things, you know?
Okay.
Okay, we were talking about, like, things that are weird in the movie, and Howard's world being a lot like our own. But they don't have pizza
Yeah.
in Duck World, I guess. But they have beer, so it's not like
yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
they just eat different
Cigars.
things. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
cigars.
I mean,
So it's-
I'd assume it's still tobacco.
Yeah, like when I
and
was
alcohol.
a kid, I was just like, oh, well, they're ducks, so all their food is based on things ducks would eat, but that's clearly not the way their
Yeah.
world works.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't have pizzas. And another thing that we noticed is they not only speak English, but they know what Howard knows what a janitor is,
Yeah.
which is a colloquialism that is only specific to America. Like, other countries, like, we're the only ones who call custodians janitors, or
Yeah.
like we're the only one who have a derogatory term that our custodians are known by.
Yeah, everyone else
But-
just uses custodian.
Custodian, or a master of the custodial arts, or
But
something like
now
that.
we're thinking. Now we're thinking a little ahead of ourselves.
I guess so. But so, like, it's just weird
It's
and
weird.
Yeah.
inconsistent,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
it stands out too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, of all the
the
things-
pizza thing, like
Yeah.
you just
He's like, "What is
everything's going
this?"
along, and he's like, "What is this pizza?" And you're like,
yeah,
What? Pizza,
because
homie.
literally, other than people, he knows what everything else in this world is.
Yeah.
Seemingly, you know, he
well,
has
she
a
sees the correlation in Naked Apes after that.
which is weird also,
Yeah,
but.
I
now
mean,
that you think
It's
about
fun, but it's fun that
Mhm.
he, like, runs around the rest of the movie calling everybody hairless ape, just
Yeah.
because, like,
it.
yeah, I guess you would.
Mhm.
They definitely have apes on his world.
Yeah, they
which,
keep calling him Duck or
Yeah,
Right,
Duck.
animal.
Yeah,
you
so he's
know.
just like, yeah, well, fuck
Fuck
you too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also wanted to talk about the badass bar fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
badass bar fight, because I love that sequence, because not only do we show Howard, like, he's trying to be intimidating, but he's also kind of trying to be reasonable because this dude's just a dickbag.
Yeah.
The girl's manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, yeah, they throw him... Like, I like the fact that in classical hero form, Howard always gets his ass handed to him before he's then like, okay, then, I didn't want to have to do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my quack foo.
Yeah,
Exactly.
use my quack foo. Or, like, earlier in the movie, it was like, no more Mr. Nice Duck.
I love
And
it.
it's like, that's awful, but it's so... It's so perfect. Like, it works so well as, like, a subversion of the normal kind of action hero thing, because he's a duck. Like, it's very on the nose, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, the brutality of him in that sequence, where, like, he pins a dude to the counter, to the bar with a freaking ice pick, and then somehow comes up with another ice pick,
like, hold
and threatens to
still.
pierce his other ear. And I love the
God.
fact that at some point in the fight...
I truly thought he was gonna stab him. But
Yeah.
Like, it cuts away and everything, you're like,
Oh,
Yeah.
shit!
shit, this is what we're watching. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And the
people
gir-
die.
And the girls are all like, oh, I guess they're not music lovers. And I'm like, no, fuck you. There's an you can't see it, fine. There's an anthropomorphic duck up there
Yeah.
beating the shit out of like 3 guys. While at the same time, my favorite part of the scene is you have a little beatnik hipster bartender handing the duck freaking a bottle so he can smash it over the dude's face and then going, yeah, man. It's the best part of that sequence is that bartender.
Yeah.
I don't know where they found him, but damn.
He is gold.
That should be the bartender in every movie.
Where are they now? I need to know.
Like, what if that guy was
And
the
I feel like-
bartender in Fight Club?
Well, I feel like I've seen that, or like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But, like,
It'd be perfect.
Because, we've seen that scene. Like,
Yeah.
similarly, bar fight, bartender hands thing to
Uh-huh.
keep the fight going. But not that reaction.
No, no.
And
Like,
not
he
with
was...
that much joy. It's usually like a,
Oh, yeah.
not a
Yeah.
Oh, it was
But
so
this
great.
dude...
smash him.
This guy is the only guy in the bar who truly understands there's a duck man beating the fuck out of 3 people.
Quack foo.
This is some shit I will never see again in my life, maybe, so I gotta make the best out of it.
Exactly.
Like, everyone
I'm
else...
helping.
Yeah, everyone else is just like, yeah. He's like, no, I have to be a part
I
of
want to be
this.
involved.
My whole life has been leading up to this moment. Would you recommend this film to someone else?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you have like a free Saturday night and you just want to laugh and have a good time, it's fun.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
No, yeah, I mean, it's entertaining.
Oh.
The reactions.
Like,
Say the
on a
least.
scale of 1 to 5, where would you put it? Because I actually, despite all the flaws, I usually put this movie somewhere between, like, 3 and 3/4 and...
say
4.
probably
3, 2.5.
Yeah, okay, that seems about fair.
That's fair.
I
Yeah,
probably
it's
have
fun.
about, like, half a point
Yeah.
given to it just for nostalgia's sake,
Yeah.
Because I do really, really love this movie, despite... It's one of those movies that falls into the same category for me as, like... People are always quick to be like, oh, like Ninja Turtles. No, fuck you. Ninja Turtles is a good movie. First Ninja Turtles is a good movie, goddammit, okay? It's a good fucking movie, okay?
Triggered?
Yeah, a little
A
bit.
little bit.
But no, but it falls into that same category as things like the second Ninja Turtles movie, or fucking Surf Ninjas, or Suburban Commando,
Oh boy.
where like, nah, the movie's kind of crap, but that's also part of why it's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Right on, guys. So do y'all have any final thoughts on the film, or anything that you would say to anyone who, after watching this, might decide that they're going to check it out?
Buckle up. And prepare for a good ride.
If this ever makes it on Netflix or something like that, and you're like, oh, Howard the Duck, don't watch it with your kid.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
at first you're like, no,
There's
it's,
some-
it's fine.
no, there's
and then
some-
you watch it with your kid and you're like, oh my god.
There's
Oh
some
my
duck
God.
titties in there.
I think the duck titties are passable because you might not quite notice it, but everything else,
Oh yeah.
She tries to fuck a duck, damn it.
Does she, though?
Yes.
Does she? Does she actually try to fuck a duck? I think she just I just think that inevitably she does. But I don't think she's trying. I think it just happens, like, sure, you can't force love after all.
Serendipity and all.
Love is weird. That's the message I would have for anyone watching this movie. Remember, love is weird, and so is this fucking movie.
Yeah. it is.
Right on, guys. So, in answer to Logan's question from earlier, yes, if you haven't seen this movie, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. And on that note, we're gonna call it a night.
Bye.
Later.
Nerd scum, out.